Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel. So as you can see there, we've decided to go with Ferrari for this month's pre-season FIA races. Obviously this season is the first season where it's a bit different. It's 2 races every week, so we've got a little bit more time to practice for these races and get ourselves a little bit more used to the car and track, etc. And this is the first real season before the proper season starts, so this is going to be really competitive. And the reasons I picked this car are not the most logical, other than I've never tried the cars out. I've never tried the GR3 and I've never tried the GR4 Ferrari out, and I think the only time I've driven the GR4 possibly is in one of the circuit experience events when I first got the game. So, you know, we're going into this quite unknown. I do know that the car's competitive. That's one of the other reasons I've picked it. I've seen it doing well on top 10 stars, etc. It is possible to do okay with it, but we're just going into this pretty much without any experience, and I just wanted to try something new. You know, I've never driven these cars, and you know, it's a Ferrari, so that's pretty much good enough reason to try it out anyway. So this is what we're going to be attacking the pre-season with in the FIA events. I'm reasonably happy with my first test drive of the GR4 car. It's got a lot of grip, it's really easy to drive, and it really does suit my style of driving. So that's the car we've picked. Obviously the first track that we're going to is the Dragon Trail track, and not my strongest track, but I'm doing reasonably okay with it. The first test drive of it, I've managed to hit some okay times. Our lap that I'll show you in a minute, which I've done so far last night, my first quick test on it, I obviously only chose this car last night, was an okay lap. It had a few errors on it, so there is a potential to get it quite low down into a 1:44. We did a 44.8 I think it is, but you're going to see when I show you the lap, there was a couple of errors on the lap that it shows there is a lot more potential with this car. So let's ride on board there. You can see now I put the brake bias all the way to the rear, pretty much to the 4 on the rear. It really helps rotate this car through the corners and get on the power nice and early, so that's why I had it there. I did try 5, but it was making the rear end a little bit loose going into the final corner. I could have like altered it as I go around the lap, but I don't really like doing stuff like that at the moment on GT Sport, especially with my wheel. It's a little bit awkward to do while I'm driving. So going into the first corner, this car really loves this first corner. If you hook it up, you have to kind of just lift off the throttle and then get straight back on it, and you can really power out the corner. You can see our previous best time at this point was a 44.8, and we've managed to pull away from the Ghost already from that corner there. And then going into this corner, I braked reasonably well here, but I tried to get the power down too early. You're going to see now I really tried to see how much I could push it around that corner, went a little bit wide and lost a bit of time. You're going to see the Ghost pull away from me now, so there's at least a 10th just into that section. I know there is, because I've done that in a 0.1, so there's 2 tenths there in that first sector that I can do better. We managed to get this corner reasonably well done, that we stayed in 5th gear, and it really does help in this car to stay in 5th gear. We're not running obviously counter steer assist like a lot of people are using. I've noticed nearly everyone again in the top 10 is using counter steer assist, and I don't like it, but I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to stick with this car, you know, and the handling how it's supposed to be driven. I'm really hoping they do something soon to sort this out, because it seems like everyone is doing it now in the top 10 stars. Everyone is using counter steer assist nearly on every track I see. There is some drivers that are not using it, like TRL Lightning will not use it. There is a few other people that will not use it as well. As far as I know, TRL Org doesn't use it as well, and hopefully a lot of other drivers are not going to use it soon. I'm hoping they do something by, you know, to handicap the car if you use it. Maybe add weight to it. That's the suggestion I've made. You know, add some weight ballast to the car if people want to use it, and that'll put people off. And then the pad people that are probably not that great at the game that need to use it, I'm not going to notice if it's half a temp slower, but the people that are using it to gain an advantage will. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully they do something in the future, because it's not the best when you've got people using a counter steer assist just to make themselves faster. But we're not going to do it. I'm going to stick with this Ferrari and try and get used to the GR3. I know it's a tough car to get used to from what people are saying, so I'll do my best with this manufacturer and see how we get along. It's going to be enjoyable to drive. It sounds amazing when you're driving this GR4, so that's one thing. It definitely has a nice engine note to it, so I'm going to look forward to driving this in the FIA races, and I hope to bring every single race as I can, as much as the races as possible. Obviously if there's issues with obviously replays or something, or you know, the splits that we get put on, hopefully there won't be. We're nearly back to the A+ rating, but we're going to be quite low on that A+ rating, you know, with that 25,000 or 24,000 DR that we lost in the previous in one of the races earlier in one race and we lost all that, is really going to affect us. So I've got to be quite tactical in the races I pick. If I go for the peak time races, I might risk getting dropped down into a lower tier. So at the moment, until we get our rating right back up there, we're going to have to go for maybe a time slot that's not going to be as competitive until I get that back up, and then when it's back up I can go for the peak time slots again. But the racing should still be clean and fun. There's always fast people in these FIA races anyway, so I expect this season to be even more competitive with it being the pre-season as well. So let's look forward to a really good season, and I'll be driving Ferrari. Hope to see everyone on track. If you're in my races, I look forward to racing against you, and let's see how well we can do. I'll do my best. I'm not expecting too much with it being my first ever drive of the Ferrari, so I'll just do as good as I can do. Anyway guys, thanks again for watching the video. We'll be back very soon with more races. Hopefully today we'll have another race uploaded in my first ever race in the Toyota GR free car that's just been released, and that was a great race, so make sure you check that out. Thanks again for watching everyone.